to provide more financing for arms production directly going into Ukraine. We already have a mechanism that works. And I think we have to implement stronger sanctions against Russia. It goes for the Shadow Fleet. Recently, we listed almost 200 additional vessels from the Russian Shadow Fleet, but more have to come against the Shadow Fleet, against Russian banks, financial sector. And I think we have to end any remaining dependency on Russian energy, including oil, gas, and nuclear energy. And to add one more thing, lower the oil cap. I think all that on the table would put the necessary pressure on Russia to get to the table and actually negotiate on peace. And why is that? Because Ukraine deserves peace. But the peace must be comprehensive, it must be just, and it must be lasting. And it has to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. I'm sorry to say, I think until now we haven't seen any signs that Russia is willing to actually commit to any of that. So our key task at the moment has to be to put Ukraine in the strongest possible situation and position on the battlefield and or at the negotiation table. Europe, of course, needs a strong and an independent Ukraine. I believe that once again the coming month will be paramount, and we haven't got much time, and therefore we need commitment to take the right decisions on behalf of all Europeans now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Secretary General, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Noceda, dear Gitanas. Thank you for hosting the B9 Nordic Summit here in Vilnius. It is a pleasure, always a pleasure to be back here in Lithuania. Lithuania is a staunch ally and continues to lead by example. You invest more than 4% of GDP in defense this year, and I welcome your plans to spend between 5 and 6% starting from next year. I think this sends an incredibly powerful message of commitment to our collective defense. And it also sets an example for our other allies. On this stage and in our meetings today, it is clear that the commitment to collective defense is strong. We have had a productive day of meetings as we continue to prepare for the summit in The Hague. We are facing the most dangerous security environment in decades. Russia's war of aggression continues, terrorist threats persist. We are not at war, but we are not at peace either. So we must continue to strengthen our deterrence and defense. And that means pivoting towards a full war-fighting readiness, providing significantly more forces that are well-trained, well-equipped, and supported with logistics, sustainment, and ammunition. We continue to count on the B9 and our Nordic allies to play a key role in these important efforts. At the The Hague Summit, I expect allies to demonstrate their enduring commitment to our collective defense by deciding to boost defense industrial production and increase defense investment. And this is purely, simply essential to our security. And so is delivering on the new ambitious capability targets that allies are expected to agree later this week when the defense ministers will meet here in Brussels. Not here in Brussels, but in Brussels. Today, we also discussed Ukraine, a key priority for the summit in The Hague. Dear Volodimir, we continue to support Ukraine. We know that a strong, sovereign Ukraine is essential for Euro-Atlantic security. So we have about 3 weeks left until the NATO summit in The Hague. And I look forward to working with all allies to ensure we deliver for our 1 billion people. Dear Gitanas, thank you again for your hospitality, your leadership, and your unwavering commitment to our alliance.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. Dear journalists, we only have time for one question, which can be addressed to all the leaders, or some of them. Please indicate that. Martina, go ahead, please.
Hello, Martina Pichelita, news agency ELTA. I have a question to all of you. So with the announcement that America will review its true presence in Europe, there has been some concern about a reduction in United States capabilities on NATO's eastern flank. So in this context, and given the fact that the current administration of the United States has reduced America's focus on Europe, what can be expected at the upcoming summit in Hague? Thank you.
I think we can do in the same order, like
Okay.
you made your statement.
I will start. You know, I don't want to base my assumptions on the rumors. I would trust official information about the possible reduction of United States presence in Europe. So far, we have 1,000 US soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder with the soldiers of Germany, Norway, and other EFP countries. And we are ready to provide all necessary conditions even to increase this number if there would be political will from the new American administration. So far, we are working on a broad range of activities, and I would like to remind you, last week, 100 meters from here, in the Cathedral Square, the Chancellor Friedrich Merz inaugurated the German brigade. Full-scale brigade will be deployed in Lithuania until 2027, and we are progressing on the all necessary infrastructure for German soldiers, the soldiers here, and those are my assumptions right now. So we are highly interested that United States focus on Europe remains, because this is very important element of our collective security, and I hope that the Hague Summit will bring very positive news to this field. Thank you.
Mr. President Duda, what would be your answer to the question?
I can only answer that I had a few opportunities to talk with President Trump during last 6-7 months. I talked also with his secretaries, especially with Secretary Hexet. And I have no information about any ideas of withdrawing American military forces, US Army forces from our part of Europe, from eastern flank. So this is my answer.
President Zelensky, can you please give your views, or you can just...
He refers to me now. No, but then maybe we should...
About
Can
NATO,
switch
it's
as-
important to hear from you.
Okay, no, but let me be very straightforward here. Since January, I get two questions from European allies. Question one is the US still committed to NATO? The answer is yes. Committed to NATO, committed to Article 5, and this has been many times repeated by President Trump in many meetings. So my only suggestion to many European colleagues is put on your television so that you can hear him say this. Don't ask me, he's very clear about this. But there is an expectation. The expectation is that we are going to spend more, because we need to spend more for our defense, but also it is because it is fair to equalize our spending with the spending the US is doing currently. Second question, but then they will stay, Mark, but they might withdraw their troops all of a sudden. And exactly as President Duda is saying, there's absolutely no indication of this. What we know is that the US, next to Europe, of course, also has to take care of the Middle East, has to take care of the Indo-Pacific, and it is only logical that over time, as we are building up, that the US will pivot somewhat more towards Asia. But I am absolutely convinced that also in the long term, there will be a very strong conventional US presence in Europe, next to the nuclear presence, the nuclear umbrella, our ultimate guarantor of our freedom. There will be a very strong conventional presence of the US in Europe. There's no doubt about it. Now, basically referring back to what the two other speakers have been saying.
Thank you. President Zelensky?
I agree with Mark.
Good answer. President of Romania, please.
Yes, so first of all, the United States present in the eastern flank of NATO, it's extremely important for us, for all of us. So as I said, we have to strengthen the transatlantic connection. And on this regard, it's very, very important, our commitment on 3.5 plus 1.5. And I hope that we will take that decision in Hague.
Thank you. Madam Prime Minister,
Fine.
you have nothing to add. All right, so I would like to thank all the leaders. I would like to thank all the journalists.
much.
Our press conference is over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear friends.
Welcome to B9 and